Welcome to class, everybody. It's going to be chapter 4.5b. We're going to be simplifying expressions. Let's begin. Alright, so here's our first problem. R divided by r to the negative third power times r to the negative second. And hopefully you see right away, you're going to flip your r to the top and change this sign, and this one also. This is what you should get. And simplifying, you should have r to the 1 plus 3 plus second power, which gives us an r to the sixth. Here's our next problem, x to the fifth times y to the third, all of that to the negative third power. There are a few ways we could choose to do this. You could start by flipping everything and changing the sign of the negative third. Or you could distribute the negative 3, as I've done here. I kind of prefer, I think I prefer the other way, but I'll keep going with this, which will give me this, but I'm just going to end up flipping both of these. This is x to the negative 15th, y to the negative 9th. So here's my final answer, 1 divided by x to the 15th times y to the 9th. Alright, for my next problem, I have x squared, all of that to the third, divided by x to the 10th. And some quick head work shows me that the top becomes x to the 6th. Dropping my x to the 6th to the bottom, and then combining, I get x to the 10 minus 6th power, which leaves me with 1 divided by x to the 4th power. And here I have 8k to the 4th divided by 2k. And just writing it all out, I'm going to break my 8 up so I can cancel a 2. And then I get 4k's and then 2k on the bottom. Do my canceling. And I end up with 4k to the 3rd. Okay, here's my next problem. Right away I see I can cancel some negative signs. I know I can cancel a 2 from this 6. And I'm going to have 3 m's cancel out. Okay, now I did a whole lot of head work just now, and honestly, you guys, at this point, you should start to be doing things this quick. You should be able to see at this point from here, without having to write out all canceling and such, you should see that it's 3m. Okay, so for our next problem, not going to do everything in my head on this one. I know I'm going to have a negative sign. I'm going to see that the a's are going to cancel and the b's are going to cancel, but my 24 and 6, I'm going to write this out. And, you know, I did write it out, but if you're really good, it wasn't necessary. My 6 are going to cancel. Alright, after some canceling, I get negative 4, a to the 5th divided by b. Alright, here's my next problem. Now, on this one, the negative sign's on the bottom, but it will still, on my last answer here. Probably should have brought that negative sign out to emphasize that it's there. Anyhow, notice here, it was here, ended up coming out. Now here, I'm going to end up with the same thing. It's on the bottom, but it'll still pop out. And I get negative 6x divided by 7y squared. Alright, for a problem like this, I see negative sign here and a negative sign here. I'm not quite sure what the best thing to do here. I'm just going to distribute my negative 6 first. And that's going to give me an a to the 30th power. Negative 6 times a negative 5 will give me a 30. And then I'm going to get a b to the negative 12th, because the negative 6 times the 2 is the negative 12. And at this point I can just drop my b to the b's to the bottom and change the sign. Here's my answer. Okay, here's a fun one. We have an entire fraction, all of that squared. Remember, whenever you have a fraction with a power to it, the power is going to apply to both the denominator and the numerator. Multiplying the power by my x to the negative 2, I'm going to get x to the negative 4. And then I should get a y to the 8th. This x to the 3rd is going to become an x to the 6th. And our y to the 7th becomes a y to the 14th. Now here, I really just need to clean up this x and cancel out some y's here. I have 8 on top, 14 on the bottom. With my x's, I'm going to end up with a x to the 10th on the bottom. My 4 x's are going to come down here with these 6. And then after canceling my y's, I should get a y to the 6th. That's my final answer. Alright, and for our last problem, I have something a little unusual. Notice I have a 7 to the negative first power. That's going to come into play a little differently. The a is here, a to the negative third on the bottom, b to the negative fourth, and a b squared on top. I'm going to clean everything up besides my 7s for right now. So here are my 7s kind of put to the side. I should get an a to the 4th divided by a b to the 6th. Okay, let's address this again. Now it does just look a little awkward, but I think the best thing to do is just use our rules and just flip my 7 to the top and change the sign and see what happens. And I've probably written it a little crude, but this is what really happened. I just popped my 7 up to the top, so I end up with the 7 times a 7, and all of that is going to be multiplied again by my my factor here. So 7 times 7 is 49. All right, here's my final answer. I suggest you go through this maybe a couple times and really get the hang of canceling and looking at powers and such. Anyways, see you next time, class.